All right, so for this next one, we're going to, it says isolate the absolute value expression and each equation to determine if the equation can be solved. If not, then you got to put no solution. So we're going to do these things, and sometimes there's no solution. Sometimes there's one solution. It depends on where that horizontal line crosses, and sometimes depending on how the equation is set up, they may never cross. That's where you get the no solution. So let's check this out and see. So I'm going to solve this algebraically, just like we did the other one. What should I do first, guys? Huh? Minus 2 from both sides. Good. So I'm going to subtract 2 here and subtract 2 here. And my next line, I've got negative 5 times the absolute value of x plus 1. Hold on, let me write this down. Absolute value brackets. Sometimes I like to make those thicker because students don't notice the difference between those and 1. What's 12 minus 2? 10. Okay, what do I do next?
Divide by negative 5.
Yes, divide by negative 5. She's so excited. So anyways, negative 5 divided by negative 5 is just 1. 1 times all this stuff is just this stuff. All right, so I've got the absolute value of x plus 1 is equal to 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. Now, I can tell you right now, there is nothing going to equal negative 2. There is no value that I can plug into the absolute value bracket that will equal negative 2. Nothing. Right? Nothing will work. Because remember, the absolute value brackets means that it will always have to equal a positive number. So because you have a negative, right now I'm done. I'm just going to, there's no solutions. So I'm just going to say no solutions. Absolute value cannot be negative. Now let's see what that looks like graphically. So grab your graphing calculator, go to y equals. The constant was y equals 12, and then the other one was negative 5 times the absolute value of, what was that? X plus 1 plus 2. So I'm going to say x plus 1, and then over here I'm going to say plus 2. Now when I graph this, I got to zoom out a little bit. So go to window and make your y max equal, because we said y equals 12, so it has to be greater than 12. So what do we want to put here? 15 will work. 20 would work too. Now let's graph it. Where do those two lines cross? They don't. That's why there's no solution. Okay? Those two graphs will never cross. So there's no solution. So let's sketch that in our notes so we understand that. When you guys understand this, you could solve, like if you were to do the SAT test and you wanted to know what the solution is. Let's say you do the math and you think you're right, but you're not sure if you made a mistake. Just graph it. That's all you got to do. And then put does not cross. What's the fancy math word for cross?
Intersect.
Yeah, intersect. Maybe, if you're lucky. Okay. Now let's do the next one real quick. Same thing. What do I do first? I'm going to add 3. When I add 3 to both sides, I get 0. Now this will be an interesting one. So then I'm going to say 3/5 times the absolute value of 2x minus 4. Now, when you multiply by a fraction to get rid of the fraction, you simply multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to say 5/3. Whatever I do on one side, I got to do to the other. This becomes 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. 15/15 is just 1. 1/1 is all this stuff. 2x minus 4, the absolute value of that. What's 0 times 5/3? 0. So now in this particular case, what's the difference between positive and negative 0? Trick question. There is no difference. So I could just rewrite this as 2x minus 4 equals 0. Can I solve this? Sure. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And I get 2x is equal to 4. Divide by 2, and I get x equals 2. So now if I go to graph this whole thing, I graph the left-hand side of the equal sign and the right-hand side of the equal sign. How is it going to cross only one time at x equals 2? It's going to cross at the vertex. So let's see. It's going to cross at the vertex, and x will equal 2. So I think the vertex is 2, negative 3. But let's see. Let's graph it. So I've got this crazy thing. So go into y equals, clear this out. We're going to hit math. We're going to do the fraction thing. I'm going to do 3/5. Then I'm going to hit math again. I'm going to do the absolute value thing. What goes in there? 2x minus 4 and then minus 3. So I'm going to say 2 times x minus 4 and then minus 3 here. And then my y value is just going to be negative 3. Make sure you put the negative sign. Notice that the negative sign looks slightly different than the minus sign. Subtraction symbol. Right? I'm going to do zoom standard. And there we go. Crosses at the vertex. That's the only, those are your 3 options when you solve an absolute value function, right? It'll cross once, it'll cross twice, or it doesn't cross at all. Intersects insects. Well, I skipped a couple letters. It changes the whole word.
I was actually
Int.
watching TikTok when I woke up this morning, and there was a video of this mosquito that had like a number on it, and I was like, what a shame.
What are you talking
What? I saw a TikTok this morning about a mosquito that had a number on it, and I was like,
What is the number?
what is that? I don't know.
Hey, I'm still recording, guys, if you're wondering.
I'm sure
Are there any questions about your actual math or any statements about the math I'm trying to teach you today?